All right, guys, this is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be interviewing Leandro. Is that right? Did I fuck that up?
Yeah, Andrew Leandro. Actually, I say Leandro because it's easier for most people to read, but you can call me Andrew too.
Okay, just go with Andrew. Okay, I like that. Okay, Andrew. So you're probably familiar with how we do this. We're gonna ask you questions, and we'll be texting each other and messaging each other, and we'll figure out your personality type. Um, but can you introduce yourself?
Um, Andrew, I'm from Brazil. I'm currently a law student. I also plan to start architecture by next year. Um, that's pretty much it. I like watching true crime. I really love true crime. Supernatural stuff too. That's basically it. That's basically it.
Dope, dope, dope. Shelly is here. She's just not on the camera today. She got beat up and mugged by some people. But what got you into typology, man?
I was 18 by the time, yes, yeah. Just online tests that goes viral and everyone starts doing, and I kind of find it interesting and wanted to study more about it. I thought it was a really good way a really funny way actually understand and put people inside boxes. Helps defining some stuff. Of course, that it's not super scientific and super accurate sometimes, but it's more or less archetypes, which you can fit people more or less well. And I like that a lot. I really like actually fitting things and people into archetypes, into this type of symbols and patterns. I really like this.
Mm. Um, what do you see yourself in 5 years, man?
How do I see myself in 5 years?
Yeah, what do you see yourself in five
Is that
years?
the question? In 5 years, my graduation in law will reach an end. I will still be on my graduation for architecture, but probably by the end of it too. Basically struggling to start my architecture career because it would be at the beginning. Uh, and basically it's saving money. I want to save money to maybe travel and live a comfortable life. No, basically money is the ticket for life, so you needed to
Mhm.
do everything and be happy. So that's myself in 5 years. Basically my academic life will be reaching an end, like in both areas.
Okay. You like traveling? You said,
Yeah, I do.
what do you like
I
about
do.
traveling?
Huh?
What do you like about traveling?
Actually seeing how different people are, in different places, in different countries. I've always had this interest since I was a child.
Hmm.
Um, like uh, I was very innocent, so I didn't have like a good distance kind of notion. So always I saw a mountain by the horizon. I would think that after this mountain it was another country. But obviously it was. But imagining how people actually do things and think and relate to each other in other countries for me is really interesting. So, for instance, I want to go to Chile, Japan, and see how my way of thinking and acting would impact those people and how their way would impact mine. I really like these differences.
It's pretty dope. Um, hmm. So you say you're going to school for architecture, right? What drew you to architecture?
Uh, why I chose architecture?
Yeah.
Um, I like art. I've always liked art since I was a child too. Um, it's a meme in my family that I had a lot of interests, but art have always been of my mind. So for a good period of time, I wanted to do like classical art, like painting and doing animations, but um, it wasn't profitable. I wouldn't get money out of it, and it's really hard, even in developed countries, to live out with art. So I just law first, But then I found out about architecture, which is a type of art, but you can actually get money from it more easily. It has more market for labor, for work, for jobs. So I started getting really interesting about the idea of being able to project, to draw, and to do beautiful things, and still.
Who is that? Is that Shelly? Dope, man.
Muted.
Shelly, you okay?
I said I was muted. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so architecture. If it wasn't architecture, what would you do?
Actually, I'm doing law actually. Like law is my main, like because law is not my passion. I chose it more for a pragmatical reason because it's area I can get money more easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's I chose architecture, but I won't skip law. I won't stop doing law actually. And if it weren't for architecture or any other artistical, type of career,
Mm-hmm.
it would probably be law because there's like 3 careers you can follow to get money, which is in my country at least, which is engineering, medicine, and to be a doctor, and law to be a lawyer. And out of these 3, law is the only one that actually I can study well without any problem, and without being an area that doesn't go too much far away from my interests. So it's law basically. Now, if it's another one without law and architecture, I really don't know. Like I never thought about it, but maybe I don't know, maybe cinema, maybe theater, something like that.
How do you learn something new?
You know, it's just watching people doing this and reading and asking people to oh, what's their distance, what's their thoughts on the thing I want to learn, and asking others to.
Okay. Uh, um, what is something that what's 3 words someone would say about you?
Stillborn, I guess. Funny. I guess some of my friends actually would say I'm funny. And maybe polite too, really formal, polite.
If you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
Sure, riches. So maybe I never thought about this in depth, so maybe I can end up giving some dumb answers, but I probably ask for infinite money, so I wouldn't need to worry about making money anymore. I obviously could use it to actually break the global economy, but I wouldn't do it, at least not in an unplanned way. Also, I would like the ability to travel through dimensions, to see other types of realities. I think it's funny. It's just, I like magic and, Harry Potter, this type of stuff. So it would be funny to actually be able to visit these universes, these fictional universes. And maybe for, I guess, immortality, but I could choose where I could die, if I want to die, okay, now I can die, but I could basically live for as long as I wish.
Oh man. Um, what do you think is the biggest problem with society?
These premises, people, I guess, I'd say, I'd say selfishness. I guess it's a common trait everyone shares, like from me to everyone I love to everyone I hate. Everyone's selfish to some degree, and I guess that if people weren't so selfish, if we're more empathetic towards one another, there's a chance a lot of things could be avoided. because I mean I do believe that most of the people that rule over us are, if not psychopaths, nearly psychopaths, and they are known for not having any empathy towards other people and being super selfish about their goals. So I guess that less selfish, especially leaders, would be good for society.
If you could have any job in the world, what would you have and why?
If you could pick any job in the world,
Any job in the world, man.
Well, probably the president of a country, of my country, or the country. It's like, see,
I projected it. I swear to God, I called it. I called it in my fucking head. I fucking called it.
it's that like I've been interested in going and getting into politics, but if I see it, I start perceiving it as something really dangerous. Like if you want to break the norm and do something really different in politics that might threaten people's interests, powerful people's interests, I can get not only myself in my own life on the line, to get killed, but also my family and people I love and friends. So I decided I'm not going into politics for this reason. So unless I have nothing to lose, I'll likely go to politics. But if I could skip all steps and be on the top, so be the president, and maybe I could choose, then yeah, I guess I could give it a try.
Yeah, okay. What do you think is something you have that would make you a good president?
I mean, more empathy. I don't get me wrong. Everyone's selfish, as I already said, and I could be ruthless. I guess the authority needs to be reinforced, and but I guess the ability to actually I understand the struggles of my country. I guess that's enough. Like I know there needs to be to have industrialization. I know that we can be laying down for the country to do whatever they want with us, and I know how geographically the position of this country can help the people. Because I'm from Brazil, and South America is a really isolated continent. People usually don't talk about that. They think Oceania would be the most isolated continent, but when you think about it, they're really close to the most populated continent on Earth, which is Asia. So they can easily do commercial trades with China, Japan, with Vietnam. But South America is the only place on Earth where you don't even have direct flights to South America for how far it is. It doesn't exist. So this geographical isolation can also help us politically. So I have info. I've searched. I researched about the country's situation, and I guess that I trust myself to do something good. About the country if I could be in that position.
Yeah.
But it's just nothing realistic. Actually, I don't. I'm not going after it.
Let's see. If you were to go to jail for anything, what would it be for?
Probably murdering someone for revenge. Like I can imagine someone actually killing my family members, my little brother, my mother, or my friends. I think I could get really vengeful for that. So I could probably fuck up my life to get revenge on these people. I usually imagine this happening actually because I'm afraid that I'm going to lose these people.
Do you see yourself as somebody who can be very vengeful?
Yeah, I can be very. I don't like it sometimes, but there are moments where not only myself, but everyone can be vengeful depending on their circumstance. And I see myself being vengeful in some occasions, but I don't reinforce it. I think it's a bad trait that I should keep it under control for the max as possible. But getting your family killed, getting your friends killed, that's a really extreme situation.
Okay. What do you think is something you do that sabotages yourself?
Probably lack of action. I plan things out. I have all these, good idea that I go into the very end bottom of it, and then don't take action. I guess that's really something that I miss work on, like get up and do things happen.
Thomas, you got anything?
What would you like remembered for?
What?
What would you like remembered for? Can you hear me?
What would you like to remember for?
Well, as I'm putting all my effort into being an architect for love, I like being remembered for my constructions, for the beauty of my work.
And what's something that you've always wanted to do that you haven't been able to do?
Probably seeing travel to Japan, to Europe, to Chile. I've always wanted to leave the country, to visit other countries. Still not being able to, and that's something.
Okay.
Gotcha.
If I fast forwarded your life to 100, what is something you think you miss out on?
If I was 100 and something that that I didn't do, I hope not. But if anything, that would probably be related to this not taking action. Probably never actually becoming a great artist. In architecture field, actually being mediocre, being not being great, not being good enough to have my constructions and my ideas and my plans being actually recognized by people and appreciated.
Wow. Let's see here. If you could be born in any time period, what time period would you want to be born in? Any time period.
Specifically 1,000 years ago in Japan, the Heian period. That's because I was reading a book some time ago, which is called The Pillow Book, which was wrote by a lady in court. I guess that's how you call it. She was a lady in the court of the Japanese Empire, Japanese realm, and it's called The Pillow Book because it was kind of a diary which she would hide in her pillow, and she would write poems about nature, about her affairs, her relationship with the other court members. She would gossip. It was funny, it was sad sometimes, and seeing a kind of life that has no technology and huge contact with nature, and where people are more sensible and more poetic, sounds good to me. Not that I think that it's a paradise, but I do believe that the overpopulation and things it kind of made things worse for society in general. And I really like seeing how the way of living was in this Pillow Book period that I read some time ago. I would like to experience it.
Let's see. If you could bring anything into reality, abstract, whatever, what would you bring and why? One idea would be like Pokemon, Star Wars.
I guess magic in general, ability to do portions, ability to do, type of things. I guess it would make life easier, at least for me.
Yeah. Why do you like magic?
Why I like magic? Basically, it's a way to escape a little the boring parts of the process, because you need to organize your room. You need to, if you want to get to university, you need to go to a certain place and deal with bureaucracy. You need to pay bills and do all this boring daily stuff that I actually don't like doing. If there was magic, I can kind of skip all of this with some abacadabra, and then it's all done. I need to focus on only what I want, what I think it's important.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Um, 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 let's see.
What stresses you out?
Good. Good.
Stress me out. A lot of things stress me out, but I'd say too much chaos.
Mhm.
I guess
Yeah.
like either like people fighting like around me, or I guess like being in a super big city where there's constant violence and constant people screaming and making noises. That actually stresses me out. Actually, I was living in a really big city before, and I actually left that whole state and came to the one of the most rural zones of my country, specifically because of this. I couldn't handle being in that chaotic place anymore. And as my mother is from here, so I'll say, that's opportunity to actually get out of here. And I'm now in a more rural kind of place. I mean, it's still like, there's still like a city, which I think it's convenient sometimes to solve your stuff, but it has a lot more nature and it's a lot smaller than the previous one I was.
Mm, mm. Pretty good. Uh, what's a skill you think everybody should know?
Organizing is those will help me even myself with my daily life, actually, because like, don't get me wrong, I know how to organize, I know like where to put things, but having to do it every day, like having to organize things every day because they always get messed up, it's really annoying to me. And if people knew how to organize things and didn't bother doing that, it would be a lot more comfortable for me, because it would help even my so.
Yeah. Hmm. Are you familiar with Andrew Tate?
With what?
Andrew Tate.
Ajute, what is
Top
that?
G.
Top
Just
Top
G.
G.
oh, he doesn't know. Okay, well,
No.
I want to see what his thoughts would be on that. What's a habit of yours that you have? What's three habits that you have?
3 habits that I have.
Mhm.
Going for a walk. I usually like, if I spend too much time, like the whole day inside my house, I get kind of depressed. I want to go out for a walk on the beach, to see some natural light. So I usually do that pretty much every day when I can. And 3 habits. The other would probably be watching true crime videos, and reading too about true crime. I actually like it a lot. And the third habit, can I say playing games? Actually,
Mhm.
I'm playing games. I play some games.
Yeah. Um, you have siblings?
If I have what?
You have siblings.
Siblings, yeah, I do have 2.
How's your relationship with them?
Both of them are 10 years younger than me, and my relationship with them are pretty good. They admire me, and I seek to be a model for them. So we have a pretty good relation, actually.
How was your childhood?
How is my what?
Childhood.
Childhood.
Oh, my childhood. How it was my childhood. It had a lot of good and bad moments. The good moments would be, I was really active. I like playing football with my friends. I would run and invite them to play, to either play soccer or do any other activity. I had a family that supported me and always showed love towards me. But there was also bad points, because my family was also very like rigid to regard with studying. So if I don't get enough grades, I can't get outside. So there are a lot of moments where I needed to focus 100% only on studying, and I couldn't leave the house and only stay inside the house. So these were bad parts of my childhood.
Mm. Do you think school came pretty easy to you, or was it tough?
It was tough actually. Like it became, there's a thing, it always became the year, it always became like good. I was also the top student, the best grades, but as time passed, I started getting boring of it, and then my grade would start to drop. That's how it happened a lot of times in my years as studying.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see. Jelly, you got anything?
No.
God damn it, Shelly.
What kind of qualities do you look for in other people?
What kind of what?
Qualities do you look for in other people?
Empathy. I want soft people who can be nice, who will be sweet. Also people, let me see, people that wants to be open and likes to be open to new things, and people who like to plan things out. People like to plan trips. People who like to plan our house in the future. People like to plan stuff. I usually don't like people that get bored or get stressed by planning things out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then what kind of things bother you like about other people?
What kinds of things bother me about other people?
Yeah, like what annoys you about other people, like aside from what you've already said?
People who want to be rebels, that they want to be different only for the sake of being different. They have no goal or no reason. They just want to be different. I don't like that. People who likes to call to only want attention on themselves, like it's all about them. They scream and talk louder. And also people who are not polite and scream too much and don't have like good behavior around strangers. I don't like that too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan to get out of typology in general?
What? Can you repeat that, please?
What motivated you to want to get into typology? Like, what's your driving force for it? Like, what do you see yourself doing with it?
Basically just for fun, basically because of the archetypes. I like the archetypes, and that's not something I like putting people in these archetypes. It's not something I do only with typology. Like, for instance, that's a really funny thing I do with some of my friends, which is like we like to like there's oceans, there are planets on the universe, there is different, like there is black holes, there is sun, there are the seasons, there is historical period. I like to see like which each of my friends and even myself, which one of these categories would we fit? Like which planet of the universe or body of the universe would you be? Which season would you be? Like it's an archetype, like it's which color would you be? Like what in that person's energy resembles what that thing, that nature, So for instance, I have a friend which I gave her celestial blue, the singularity, and there's the other which I give ancient Greece period. This type of archetype, I like doing that. And MBTI typology is kind of like archetypes, general patterns of behavior that describe people. So it's just one type of archetype that I like, using to put people in these boxes, and myself too.
Dope. Okay, man. We're ready to go ahead and tell you what we got here. Obviously, you're a TFI user. You're talking about planning things. You don't like people that don't plan. You like to have like some type of structure or whatnot. No matter what you do, it's important to you. So you're TFI user. You're direct. Okay, you're specific, concise, and to the point. Even though you're very wordy, to a degree, that's more of a progression thing. because you're going through the progression. So you're direct, responding, T, FI, and you're abstract. You talk about the archetypes, the universe, those type of things. You're really into magic. You're also an SENI user. You talked about what other people are doing and stuff, more than yourself. You also, when you talked about learning, that was one of the things you talked about. And then you talked about when you want to travel, you said you want to see how you could impact Japan's culture and then how they could impact you as well. That's an SENI statement. Not taking action is one of your big things. Seem to be having a lot of trouble with SE inferior here. That seems to be plaguing you like crazy. With not taking action. Like when I asked about if we fast forward you to 100, what would be something that you think you missed out on? And that was one of the things was not taking action. So that's more of an SE inferior that's coming out. So we got you down as INTJ, man. What did you think your type was?
Like I expected barely. I could see the T and the phi coming. Like everyone that I've talked about would usually give me a phi T. But I thought about a phi dominant, I also thought about NI dominant, not gonna lie, but I also thought about T dominant too, even though like it could be kind of strange considering some of my points, but it's more or less on the line of expected, man. I could expect ISFP too sometimes, or INFP maybe too.
So yeah, the ISFPs and INFPs, they are informative. And another thing is like ISFPs are concrete. So they really wouldn't care about like the universe and the archetypes, and that seems to be something that you're big into, the archetypes of like typology and putting people into boxes and whatnot. That's more of a high TE thing. Wanting to shove somebody into a fucking box. I fucking love it. But yeah, and INFPs are affiliative, so they're talking about doing what's right. When you were talking about like doing architecture and whatnot in law, is basically like a pragmatic thing. Like this is to make money, didn't seem like, and then you actually complained about like the your family putting a lot of like structure on you, so basically taking away your freedom when you were a kid, and that made your childhood terrible. That was one of the things you said. So yeah, you got any questions?
No, it's pretty clear for me. The other bet, and it's really a phi dominant, which I could like actually see coming to, because of like how emotional sometimes I feel I am, about stuff. So I usually can say a phi too, but for me it's perfect too, like your conclusion.
Yeah, I mean the thing about INTJs is what people don't realize is that they have FI child. And so the hero and the child are both optimistic. And you'll be using them, well, use the child you can use it quite a bit because it's where you can get relief from. It's kind of like one of those things you got to really manage because it's kind of like a drug. It feels good to use it. So FI to you feels good to be used. So you can sort of see yourself coming off like INFP or ISFP because you're drawing energy from using FI. But ultimately, I think you do a pretty good job of managing it with TE. So,
Yes, I think a lot of it just comes down to developing your TE more, and I think it's pretty common for people to identify with a type that has their child function for a hero function. So like an INTJ thinking that they're ISFP or INFP, I think that's actually pretty common, especially when you're pretty young, where your parent function likely is. I'm not saying that you're in bad shape, but you're probably it's going to develop a lot more in the coming years, and then I think it'll probably be your type will probably be more clear to you. Like I know for me, certainly when I was younger, my FI was it was I let it loose a lot more over the years. I put it I've got it under control a little bit better. So yeah, but yeah, I don't you're very direct. That was like the first thing I noticed. Like you're very direct, and then you're getting a lot of progression from you. So that's pretty much eliminates ISFP and INFJ off the bat. I think you're probably more, maybe, I don't know, but maybe more rational than you realize. I think a lot of like the way you break things down, right, is very systematic, very rational.
Yeah. And then you even complaining about the noise and everything. I noticed that about NI users, man. They don't really like too much noise or too much shit because it interferes with them being able to use the hero. Me and Thomas were just talking about that earlier. So that's the reason why like INTJs can get burned out very easily, because they're always kind of using NI to a degree, and NI likes to have clear, like not too much going on, so that they can, use that function. Shelly,
Amazing.
anything you want to tell him about being an INTJ? Shelly.
Not right now.
God damn it, Shelly.
But yeah, I've seen it with multiple INTJs where they'll get really triggered. Like let's say they're trying to have a conversation, or they're trying to focus, and there's some kind of noise going on. Yeah, like it'll just like completely like block our ability to like function properly. Like you were complaining about, I don't think you mentioned the city name, but you used to live in a city that was like very loud. So I'd imagine it probably made it very hard for you to focus. It probably stressed you out, and just made it very hard for you to kind of like plan for your life and execute things. If you're anything like me, so.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but probably know the stereotypes. The city I was living in was Rio. So I don't know if
For
you
real,
guys know anything.
like super crowded.
What?
Isn't that like super crowded?
Super
You're
crowded.
there.
Super.
That's like one of the ones that everyone knows fucking crowded, man. Yeah, me personally, man, I don't really like.
Yeah,
either.
I wouldn't want to live in a major city, or if I did, I'd want to somehow live in an area of the major city that wasn't, crazy and chaotic. People, whatever, being loud, beeping horns, and all that shit. I can't be by that.
There are some big cities that I actually see myself liking living in, which like Tokyo in Japan, because exactly because of how organized they are. Like you can get everything you need, and you can do everything fast. So
Well, I think they're mostly predominantly intj run. Tokyo and stuff. I think John Beebe says that most of them are INTJs or something like that.
Well, it's an entj kind of society, but I think that just a very different culture over there though too. I think just the way that people conduct themselves, it's compared to Rio, or even compared to a lot of cities like in the United States. Yeah, it can be kind of like Miami or like New York or certain like it's I wouldn't want. I've never even been to Miami. I wouldn't want to live in Miami.
Too much.
But everything, like almost anytime I hear a story about Miami, it's like just like some crazy shit. So
I just hate the inability to be able to get somewhere get there fast or something. It just annoys the shit out of me, or that like
sitting in traffic,
sitting in traffic, and I gotta like cross like 4 or 5 lanes to get somewhere.
Yeah, it gives me anxiety.
Yeah, it gives me anxiety too, and it drains the fuck out of me. It's like shit. And then like I start about that, and then it's like potentially I might hit somebody or hit something, and it's like fuck, man. Like I personally, my ESFP cousin, he drives everywhere. Like he does all the driving. I don't have to do any driving. I'm just like, yo, we need to go here. We need to go there. Or like he's like, yo, we're going here. I don't have to worry about that shit. Like I drains the shit out of my energy. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure, man. Anything else you want to ask?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, dope, man. Well, hope to see you in the group, man. It was a pleasure, man.
Sure. We always see each other.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Thank you.